got a dilemma. That door looks just out of place with how boxy the roof is. So I was referring to Johnny's original drawing, and I had shown portions of it, but then I was looking at what he did with the side window detail, and it got me thinking. If you check it out here, the door seems to be about stock length, and he mentioned to me, well, look, like, wouldn't the wheelbase be shortened? Look how close the fender is to the back of the door. And he also did this sort of curved window line towards the back. If you look here, oops. But it does, at this point, it still shows the raked back Beetle windshield. So it's a different vibe, but that was sort of his concept from the beginning. And I got this message from Dad, Daughter, Fab on Instagram, and he said, hey, you with the bald head, look at the other side of the picture. What about something like that? He was discussing, like so many other people, a possible rear door, and I don't think that it needs that. Even though I was talking about an extended door, looking at the window represented, I thought, yeah, like that could be the solve. It could bring the cabin rearward and take some of that bulk of the panel van side, the panel wagon side, away from it. So that's what I'm thinking. That's what I think is about to happen, that type of arrangement.
How do you know that that's actually going to happen now?
I have miraculous powers to look into the past, 24 hours at a time. Let's just leave it at that. I think what you're about to see is a montage of what happened yesterday. Our sound was off, shop gremlins, etc. Jamie's convinced that the visit from the snake was causing an electromagnetic interference.
I think so, aliens.
Nonetheless, when we look at the footage, the sound was quirky. It sounded messed up.
And we know. Still gonna edit it in, but.
Yeah, what you're gonna see is me cutting portions of the roof section out of the B-pillars up on the table, fitting them in with a 6-inch chop, then taking some of the structure of the window surround, using that to hold it in place, and then buttoning up the VW stock rear side window into a little bit different contour.
I'm excited. I can't wait to see it happen.
I mean, I did it yesterday. It's all a vague memory. Let's see how it goes. Kind of the thing, see? This side, like, if this was the back, it's got this curve, right? Let's cut off the other one. If I measure all along where the blade went, it'll be the same thing. So perfect cuts, or perfectly square cuts, aren't really that critical. You see the angle here? As long as you can replicate that in the next cut. Maybe a little curve does work. We just zip it up right through here. Tack that on. I'm gonna clean this up, get that welder out. Now I'm starting to get excited. It takes a village to build a bug, right? These door caps are essential. It always helps to have a lot of Volkswagens laying around. Parts is parts. We want this to look natural. That to be here, that to be door to the fender is 14 and a half. Door to the fender is 14 and a half. So that window pretty much wants to be there. Goes back just a little bit like the fender goes back. But all I'm trying to establish is this inside lip where the rubber is going to attach. So I'm actually going to cut right through here and get rid of all that. That's going to be a flat piece that gets pieced in later. I'll show you how we're going to work this out. Same thing as the front door when I made all those slices, just like your finger. Does that. Like not do too much. be able to cut it here as well. A couple more. So what I'm attempting to do here is shrink this ridge, but because it's doubled and spot welded, it's just not working in the tool. So maybe we can hammer it over a piece of So I was trying to shrink this flange in the shrinker, and because it's double thick and spot welded, it's just starting to kink it every time I move it. So I'm going to anneal this whole set, and it'll just bend right into shape. Not really a fan of doing this because it just burns up the paint. Not that we need the paint, but just makes a mess. And overall softens the whole thing. So you can see it's a considerable amount of openness where all those slits were. I think that'll definitely give us that curve. Well, I feel freshened up. Finished this up this morning. We're a day later than we were on that last montage. Ground out all the welds. Just left this piece flying loose just so we have something to grab in the future. This structure still remains inside the window frame on the inner portion. So that will tie in back here, and that's the new window. I think it helps because it brings the cabin area looking more like it does butt up with the fender line. I don't think it needs an extra door back here. Just my 2 cents. That brings us to the other point of debate, which so many people said, man, there's something going on with the front of that side window. And I said I liked it like that, but the more I looked at it with this window, I think it might be too pinched.
Mm-hmm.
It might be too slanted in the front. So that's what we're going to explore today, and we're going to put the rest of the structure, see how this, so the door has nothing inside. There's no door top for the body, but you can see here it is. So we're going to reconnect this and follow whatever new shape of the door we create today.